Hello Crafty Mavens, this is Megan and I am back today with a Stash It Monday layout. So for this one you can see here I am doing a companion page to a Project Life spread. Back in March, my son participated in his very last Pinewood Derby. He is turning 11 in a month and a half from now when I'm recording this. And so this year was his last time to be able to race in a Pinewood Derby as a Cub Scout. So here you can see I was just cutting down my photos, and now I'm going to pick out my papers, and I am going to use a really old Studio Calico kit, and I have kind of put a bunch, I think this is a couple different Studio Calico kits put together, as well as some old papers from my stash also. So here I have decided to use this green background. It's not a bright green, but it's still a pretty vibrant color. But I really liked it, and then I also liked that kind of checkered paper, and I got the idea to use that checkered paper from the inspiration piece. Actually, in the very bottom right photo in the inspiration piece, you can kind of see that there's like a checkered tablecloth in the very back of the photo. So that's kind of what gave me the idea to use that paper from this kit. Okay, so now here I am just cutting up these embellishment stickers from an old Heidi Swap, what are those, sticker sets. I was showing you the name of the paper. I honestly have no idea if you can still get that paper. Let's see, I think I threw it away, but I think it was called, well, now I can't remember what it was called, but anyway, it's a really old one. Like, I think it was probably from 2015. Possibly even 2014. So here I'm going to use this red piece of paper there on the bottom, but I'm trying to decide like how I want to set the photos up, because they're just small enough to fit on there, but I really wanted there to be a little bit of red space between each of the photos. So I'm going to decide to just put those three that are there on there right now. I'm going to put those ones on there, and then that one that's kind of off to the right now, I am going to mat that one separately and pop it up on some foam, because that one is actually Brynnan's fastest time for his car for that whole Pinewood Derby race. So I wanted to kind of focus on that and bring your attention to that faster time. His car actually did really well this time. My kids usually don't make really fast cars. They oftentimes will end up being last in their races. And so this year, Brynnan was super excited to not always be last. Most of his races he was in third place, but that's okay, right? They are very good losers. Of course, they're always pretty sad, but they're usually pretty okay with it. I mean, you kind of have to be year after year. They do this for, what, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years, because they do, what is it? Now I can't even remember the rankings. Wolf, Bear, and then Webelow. And so Brynnan is a Webelow. I think he's going to want to move on to Boy Scouts, but I don't think they start Boy Scouts until they're 12 years old. So Brynnan's going to have a year of just hanging around, not doing Boy Scouts. Okay, so now here you can see I'm going to start gluing down all of these photos, and I really like how this part turns out. I was kind of nervous going into making this layout because there are a lot of photos on this page, But I wanted to make sure to record all of these different times just so that we kind of remembered. I don't know. I just thought it was an important part of the Pinewood Derby. Okay, so now I cut down that main photo of his best race time, and then I'm going to use this pink foam from Walmart, and I'm just going to glue it to the back of there. And now I'm going to go and grab another piece of paper from my kit because I was thinking that I want to, sorry, I kind of disappeared for a while. I was thinking that I want to matte the photo because it was kind of blending into the background. The matte that I put behind the photos was almost the same color as some of those grids on that one striped paper, the checkered paper. And so I'm going to matte them onto this blue paper. And then I also thought it would be fun to do some journaling on those library type cards. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this down. And that is, I think it said Beneath the Skies or something like that was the name of that paper. And that one is also an old Studio Calico paper. Now I am going to glue down all of these photos onto the layout. And then I'm going to start embellishing. And I kind of go embellishment crazy on this layout. I don't often use a ton of embellishments, but for this layout, I used a lot. So here I'm just going through all of these embellishments, and I even pull out a stamp, which is pretty good for me because I don't usually do a whole lot of stamping on my layout. So here I'm going to pull out some of these not flowers, hearts. And then I'm also going to use a bunch of these little puffy stickers. I think that is from a Pink Fresh Studio kit. I think that was one of their first ones that they came out with. So here I'm just placing the hearts all around the layout, kind of in a few different places. Usually I do 3 clusters. On this layout, I do like 10. So I had this cute little heart arrow clip, and I wanted it so that you can point, so that I could point to where Brynnan's score was on one of the photos. It didn't work on that main photo where I have it popped up, so I decided to move it down to the bottom, and it actually works really well down there. So now here I'm going to start gluing down all of these hearts and embellishments and things. And some of these hearts were really small, so it was hard to glue them. I'm going to put a tag up there with that puffy sticker. And that puffy sticker says, "Remember this." And then I'm going to put that heart up there as well. Now I'm thinking I'm going to use this phrase. It says all-time favorite. I was thinking for a little bit that I was going to use that as the title, and I was going to put it there to the right. But then I decided, I don't really like that. It's kind of a generic title. So I am just going to use it as kind of an embellishment down on the bottom. And I kind of did forget that I had already set aside that title, Brynnan's Dragon, and so thankfully I remembered, and I'm going to pull it over right now. So here I'm thinking that I'm going to do the word Brynnan's right above those photos, and then the word dragon down underneath the photos. But that doesn't look very good. I don't like how broken up it is, and also the word dragon doesn't fit there. So here I'm just going to move the title up to the top, and I like the way that looks. So let's see. So I fussed with the title for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to add quite a bit more embellishments. So I think I'm going to go grab... Oh, I forgot I set these arrows over to the side, and I thought it would be kind of cool to place them underneath Brynnan's name. And so that just kind of is another way to highlight that this is, you know, look above these arrows, this is his score. So I'm thinking about adding this tag, but I decide, nope, that doesn't fit. So now I'm going to go through some more of these embellishments, and I'm really glad that I did because I found a bunch of stickers that I wanted to put on here. And I'm going through some more, but that is actually all, is those black stickers. So this one says wild and wonderful, and I'm going to put it underneath the photo of Brynnan holding his car. And then I'm also going to put down a bunch of these. Let's see, what are these? I think these are from Stampin' Up, and they are called, I can't remember what they are called, but they're enamel dots essentially. So I am going to put these all over this layout. I wanted to highlight, well, first off, I'm just putting them in 3 areas because those are my main cluster areas, right? But then I decide that I want to highlight his name and also the title, so I'm going to add some around each one of the photos and by the title. Here you can see I'm doing my journaling, and that just says Brynnan was so excited that he wasn't always in last place in all of his races. He even got second place once. I was so happy for him and had fun watching. So now I am going to cut up these 2 stickers, and I'm going to place them down here in this area, and they just say Adventure Sparks. And I just thought that was fun because they're driving cars, sparks, you know, fun times, right? That little banner tag that I put up there at the top says weekend. And now I'm going to use this heart stamp, and I'm just going to stamp this in just a few different areas on the layout. And I am just keeping it super simple. I'm not even using a stamp block. Now I am going to glue down the title, and I am going to start with the word dragon. And I think I'm going to cut most of this out because this takes forever. Okay, now I am all done gluing down the title. I'm going to add the heart stamp to both sides of the word dragon. And then, like I said, I'm going to put down some of those enamel gem thingies. So I'm just cleaning off my stamp, which I tend to always do. I just like to make sure that they're clean so the next time I use them, it looks a little bit better. So here I'm adding those gems. Well, they're not even gems. They're just enamel shapes. They're just thicker than enamel dots. And I'm going to put some down here underneath Brynnan's name and right next to his name. And I think that is pretty much it. I am going to pull out one of my date stamps that has a phrase in front of it, and it's just going to say one for the books, and then I stamp the date, which was March 4th, 2017, and then this layout is done. Oh, I did check to make sure that the date was actually, because at first I thought it was March 5th, so I'm glad I checked. And that is it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a great scrappy week. Bye!